tonight on the Final Play.
There's a quick slant and a touchdown for Michael Thomas. The third time is the charm.
The Saints sneak past the Jets and stay atop the NFC South standings with their 10th win of the season.
You know, I didn't feel like it was one of our better games. Nonetheless, we were able to do what we had to do to win a game.
We've got more reaction from the team and analysis from Jim Henderson, who's fresh off the call of the game.
You know, I don't think I've ever seen a game where the Saints never trailed, but you never felt comfortable that victory was in hand until the Ingram 50-yard touchdown.
Plus, bowl games are just getting started, but college coaches are being forced to multitask with the upcoming first ever early signing period. We'll preview this week's big decisions, and the Pelicans have alternated wins and losses all month long. See how Friday's high-scoring affair slipped away in overtime.
From Fox 8 Sports, this is the Final Play, sponsored by your Southern Quality Ford dealer, built Ford tough, and Nissan.
Welcome into the Final Play. I'm Juan Kincaid, and it's one thing to be favored to win by more than 2 touchdowns, and quite another to actually go out and produce that kind of outcome. It's also the hardest part of the equation, which the Saints found out against the underdog New York Jets today. All week long, the theme of practice was, don't eat the cheese, and at times it looked like the Saints were snacking on it. Sean Vazan gets us started tonight.
It was the type of win that won't earn them many style points. The Saints clearly were not their best in their 31-19 victory over the Jets on Sunday. But in the end, they did just enough to improve to 10-4 and move on to Atlanta.
I didn't feel like it was one of our better games. Nonetheless, we were able to do what we had to do to win a game.
It began with a bang. Mark Ingram took the third play of the game, 54 yards on a screen pass. Ingram initially thought he scored a touchdown, but was ruled out of bounds.
And when they were showing it up there, I know it was close, you know, but they called it out. So they were saying that they had to challenge it and they couldn't advance it or two yards or something. But touchdown. Yeah, that's, you know, I thought I got in, but, you know, it was just a great call.
Can't challenge it, the whistle blown. You know, if the whistle hadn't blown, I could, but they had blown the whistle and played dead.
The Saints would settle for a field goal, but Ingram would get into the end zone later in the quarter. Alvin Kamara, back from a concussion suffered last week, kept the train rolling in the second quarter with a touchdown catch from Drew Brees that made the score 17-7.
Special K does it again, a 10-yard touchdown reception.
But when the defense forced a punt later in the quarter, Brees, who played a near-flawless first half, made his first critical mistake when he threw an interception deep in Saints territory. The Jets would add a field goal to make it 17-10 at the half.
The interception's unfortunate because, you know, you're throwing a check down and a guy throws his hands up and you're kind of getting hit as that happens. So, but just the timing of that, you know, end of the half where, you know, it's 2 minutes and you want to be the one going down scoring points going in halftime with momentum. Instead, you give it to them, they kick a field goal, they have the momentum.
That pick was the start of a series of bad breaks for the Saints in the second half. It began with Brandon Coleman, who fumbled inside the 20. Killing a certain scoring opportunity. Then Brees connected with Michael Thomas for a touchdown, only to have it overturned for a second time in the game when it was ruled his foot landed just out of bounds. On the next play, Coleman fumbled again, and that's when panic set in.
2 receptions by Coleman and 2 fumbles deep in Jets territory.
But with the score 17-13 at the 12-minute mark of the fourth quarter, the Saints turned to number 13. And he responded with 4 catches on a 9-play drive, culminating with a 4-yard touchdown catch on his patented slant route.
Enough became enough. I mean, the team needed me. I got them excited a couple of times already where they thought I scored, and then we went back to review, and it wasn't a touchdown. It wasn't 6 points. So it became a time where they needed me, and it was just enough, and I had to go make plays and get us down there and put points on the board.
Ingram provided the final blow to the Jets with his 50-yard touchdown scamper late in the fourth. And though the win wasn't pretty, it still counts. The Saints improved to 10-4, and most importantly, remained atop the NFC South.
We made it harder than I think it needed to be, and yet, you know, when we need to put together a drive and convert some third downs and make plays there at the end, we were able to do that.
We now welcome in the voice of the Saints, Jim Henderson. And Jim, kind of a blah performance, but in the end they get the win, so they're at 10-4. That's certainly something to be proud of. But Overall, kind of a weird game. The Saints were clearly the better team, but they just didn't play that way today.
No, I don't think I've ever seen a game where the Saints never trailed, but you never felt comfortable that victory was in hand until the Ingram 50-yard touchdown run. I thought Drew Brees put it best in his post-game press conference. We made it harder than it needed to be. They were clearly, like you said, the better team, but had a hard time showing it today.
So with that in mind, we're going to try to stay positive because the Saints have won and they're 10-4, and that's great. But there's some things here that kind of showed up that I think you got to realize these are issues for this team, whether they get further and further into the playoffs. One has got to be third down. They were 3 of 10 today. A couple of those inside the red zone, which are crucial because, you know, a red zone third down stop is the difference between a field goal and a touchdown. So I'm curious. They've always been a good third down team, but this year they have struggled in that regard.
Yeah, they have. You know, they don't get anything out of the tight ends in the passing game for the most part. But Josh Hill had 1 reception today, targeted twice. They get nothing out of that position. They're missing Ted Ginn, their best down the field threat. And the Jets, you know, they got a pretty good defense. That front 4 is excellent. Their front 3 and their 4 linebackers. Their safeties are really strong tacklers. So that's to take nothing away from the Jets' defensive effort. And the Saints were hamstrung too, and with the absence of Andrus Peat for the most part, and Warford, and their injuries are truly a concern with the Falcons on the horizon.
Yeah, it's starting to pile up a little bit because it's starting to happen in crucial areas. And look, we've talked about this all year on our show, that the Saints are better in some areas, but they're a little worse in other areas. And to me, I thought that showed up was their lack of playmakers on the edge. Other than Michael Thomas, you don't really have a playmaker outside of him in the wide receiver or tight end core. And I think at times it starts to catch up to him. I think you saw that today at some point.
Oh, I agree. You know, Willie Snead was supposed to be the guy that's going to have a breakthrough year coming off what he did last year. He's mostly an afterthought in the offense now. They really bottled up the Saints passing game to their running backs for the most part, though Kamara did have a big play. So I thought that the Jets had a good game plan. If you look at the way the Jets played offensively, too, it was very cautious. You know, a lot of quick throws. They weren't going to put Petty back there on a 7-step drop and have the Saints tee off on him, but they only had 1 sack of him in the course of the game. But what a great game for Cam Jordan. 4 pass deflections. I think he leads all NFL defensive ends in that category. So he played great. They were cautious offensively, were the Jets, and I think that resulted in kind of an uneven game in a lot of ways.
You don't really have a great feeling about this win, but as I look back, I think Michael Thomas' touchdown got overturned. The very next play, Brandon Coleman fumbles. There was a drive prior to that. Brandon Coleman fumbled at about the 10 or 11-yard line. If you finish those drives, maybe we have a different feel about this game. But like Drew Brees said, I think you mentioned it earlier, it was harder than it needed to be. And I think those are the type of plays that he was talking about, like just the turnovers and just this half an inch here and there with the Michael Thomas overturns, which is kind of a tough to overcome. But they did, and they got the win.
You know, Coleman fumbles twice in successive series at the end of the 3rd quarter, early in the 4th. Those could have been eventual touchdowns that really would have made this game a lot closer than the final score would indicate. So, yeah, they've got to clean up those sort of things. I think the penalties, the Vaccaro penalty was a big one. The Saints' defense rose to the occasion in the red zone a lot of times, but that was largely due to the young quarterback that the Jets were using and their lack of down-the-field passing game.
So let's kind of fast forward a little bit because I don't think they're going to be as they hit a point in this game where I tweeted out, it's kind of like they're sleepwalking a little bit. I don't know if they thought the game was already over, but it wasn't. They still had plenty of time left. I don't think it's going to be a problem next week. So you survived this week. You're 10-4 going into next week. You know, the lost 2 weeks ago to Atlanta hurt. This one hopefully kind of shakes them back into shape as well because you got a pretty big one here. Maybe the biggest of the season to date coming here Christmas Eve inside the Dome.
Without question, it'll be the biggest. And the hype really begins right now. You know, you talk about 24 hours to enjoy a victory before you look ahead. I don't think it'll be 24 hours after this one. I mean, I think probably the Saints coaching staff is looking ahead to the Falcons already. I mean, to play a team twice within 3 weeks like they will with the Falcons, to have played as tough as they did, it came down to 1 play last Thursday night in Atlanta, to suffer the injuries that they did, the way they were kind of beaten up physically and abused by the referees. All of the emotion for this game is on the Saints side, but they've also got some really key injuries to overcome, and we still have to see how the Falcons come out of the Tampa Bay game.
They have to win because the Panthers won again today. So you have 2 teams at 10-4. The Saints have the tiebreaker, obviously, but bottom line, you got to keep winning, right?
You do. It's the round robin of the playoffs, just like Sean Payton said, and we had said in past shows. It's a playoff round robin right now with everybody playing everybody. And you look at this NFC South, everybody says it's the toughest division in football. You got 3 terrific teams all battling for the top spot of it with 2 more games left in the season for 2 of the 3.
I'll go ahead and admit it now. I was wrong. I said 9-7, and they're 10-4. So my officially, my 9-7 prediction is toast. It's done. Did you see a 10-win ball club when you saw this team earlier?
No, not at all. I was much worse than you were. No, I did not. And especially after the first 2 games, I was going to refurbish my pick and think about, can they even win 6 games with this team? The way they turned it around and what they did in the course of that 8-game winning streak, I think is one of the great stories of the NFL this year, one of the great stories in Saints history. Nobody would have predicted after those first 2 games the Saints would be in playoff consideration and with a chance to win their division with 2 games left.
Hey, the Saints win. I know the mood is kind of blah about it, but you know what? They're 10-4, and that's a good thing. Jim, thank you.
Thank you, Sean.
Much more to come on tonight's edition of the Final Play, including more from the Dome and today's game. Chris Hagan breaks down the Saints' offensive struggles after the first 3 drives.
You're watching the Final Play.
Our Fox 8 catch of the week comes from today's Saints-Jets game, and we give props to linebacker Craig Robertson. Third quarter, he's in the right place at the right time on this deflection of a Bryce Petty pass. Robertson with his first pick of the season, and it's our Fox 8 catch of the week. When Sean Payton and his players look back on the film, they'll see what we all saw. A great start in which the offense scored on its first 3 possessions, followed by the kind of mistakes that'll get you beat against better competition. Chris Hagan takes a look back at why the latter happened far too much.
It's no secret that the Saints struggle on 3rd down, converting 38% of the time this year compared to picking up a league-leading 48.6% of 3rd downs last year. Today was no different, as the black and gold converted just 3 of 10 3rd down attempts.
We put ourselves in long distance and situations to get the first down, and it's tough for a coach to call plays like that. So, we just have to be more efficient on 1st and 2nd down, taking care of the ball, and, just when we get those 3rd downs, making sure they're 3rd and shorts and not 3rd and forevers.
But the bigger issue behind some of their offensive troubles lie within the Saints' problems getting the ball vertically down the field. Apart from what we'll call the Michael Thomas drive, where he caught 4 passes for 50 yards and a touchdown, they struggled throwing the ball more than a few yards past the line of scrimmage. In fact, Thomas's 9 catches were more than twice as many as the rest of the wide receivers combined.
I didn't think we played very well up front or really at any position offensively. I'm being honest. I thought Mike played well.
He's been doing that all year. He's been doing a great job of preparing himself for those situations. And I just think, he's the ultimate competitor, and he goes out there and gets it, and I'm just happy that he's on my team.
That sequence from Thomas broke a streak of 6 straight scoreless Saints drives, including 4 where they didn't pick up a single first down, and 2 that ended in Brandon Coleman fumbles. Thomas is humble about it, but he knows that he put the offense on his back.
In the most unselfish way, yeah. But I feel like a lot of guys did their job and did a lot of great things on film. It wasn't just that moment, but when that moment came, I was consistent. I did my job.
Saints fans have to hope that the black and gold got all of their mistakes out today, because there's no way that they can afford to turn the ball over 3 times again in 1 week, right here on Christmas Eve, taking on the Atlanta Falcons. Reporting on the Saints, I'm Chris Hagan for the Final Play.
I'm done is how former Saint Reggie Bush brought his NFL career to an end on Friday. The Saints' 2nd overall pick back in 2006, Bush brought immediate excitement to a franchise that hadn't made the playoffs in 6 years. And he, along with Drew Brees, who also arrived in 2006, made the Saints contenders immediately. But Bush's post-Saints years were not nearly as impressive. He left New Orleans in 2011 to be the feature back in Miami. He later had stops in Detroit, San Francisco, and Buffalo. Reggie came to the Saints with extremely high expectations, and he met many of them.
When he first came out, you looked at what he did in college and then what he did, when we first got him, in this offense, kind of revolutionized, the position a little bit. All of a sudden, there became that position, that guy that everybody was striving to have, as part of their offense. This guy that, man, when the ball was in his hands, he was just electric. out of the backfield or carrying it, catching it, split him out. He was basically a receiver when you'd split him out, return punts, to do a lot of things. And so he was, man, I feel very blessed to have had the opportunity to play with him. Obviously, we won a Super Bowl together, so we're locked together forever for that.
Still to come here on the Final Play, it's almost time to sign on the dotted line. Where might some of our best prep football players be headed? To college. We'll get you ready for this week's early signing period.
You're watching the Final Play.
Before the Saints took to the field today, Troy and North Texas warmed up the turf in the New Orleans Bowl matchup on Saturday. And it was quite the track meet, with the two teams combining to score 80 points, with Troy quarterback Brandon Silvers tossing 4 touchdowns and running for another. And all of those chances happened because the Trojans' defense forced 5 turnovers and had 6 sacks as they beat the Mean Green 50-30. And a bowl game will be in the future for a number of local high school players beginning this Wednesday. That's when early signing period begins, and it'll be 72 hours of waiting, wondering, and wishing by local colleges. Chris Hagan has more.
As the game of football's gotten faster, so has the recruiting process. More and more, we see athletes offered scholarships not only as underclassmen in high school, but sometimes as young as the 8th grade. The latest wrinkle this season, the early signing period. For football, running this Wednesday through Friday. Players who have their minds made up can sign their national letters of intent about 6 weeks earlier than the normal date on the first Wednesday in February.
Once they make that decision and the school and the kid is committed to both each other, you can just see the relaxation of both kid and university.
I got my grades right and stuff like that, so I'll be leaving early, so it give me a head start on football, the academics. It's good because I can really get out the way and I wouldn't have to stress about it for like a whole year or whatever. I think that was the best decision ever.
And that's where this early signing period began, for once, with the voices of the players on the field.
It was moved up because of the student athletes. The NCAA did a lot of surveys with current student athletes and asked if they thought it would be a good idea to move it up, and by and large, they felt like it would be.
In theory, it works better for both sides, right? Students can commit, sign, and not have to worry about where they'll be next season, while college coaches can see their incoming class take shape sooner.
I think they would be pushing more towards the early signing date because they would know who's in and who's out. And that way, if you don't get an early signee to go ahead and sign on the 20th, you kind of can move on and go on to the next recruit.
Of course, that requires getting to know your recruits a lot faster.
I just think you want to, really do a good job of background checking, getting to know these guys better. We've just had to speed that up, and my coaches have been in these guys' homes that we're really serious about. I've been in their homes.
And that's one advantage that Coach Fritz has at Tulane and Coach Ogeron has at LSU. With a heavy emphasis on the top talent in Louisiana, their proximity means they can handle more of the workload in season.
Some of these guys that are committed to us and will sign next week have been over here 10 to 15 times. So you've got to know those guys well, but there's always a few guys that, you wish you were able to get to know a little bit better before that signing day.
The general number thrown out by Coach Fritz and Coach O has been around 20 players signed on Wednesday and the last few in February. But again, the biggest factor remains with the unknown. Which of your commits will follow through? Which of them are still undecided and may wait until February, or which recruits will change their minds because of who you do sign early? It's a process, but for the sports fan, it does add another thrilling day to the sports calendar.
I'll take my talents to the LSU University.
Covering college football recruiting, I'm Chris Hagan for the Final Play.
Some of the names we expect to see signing early this week from Landry Walker, Devonta Jason, Corian Harris, and Curry Ben. And from De La Salle, Jamarian James and Lance Robinson are expected to put pen to paper this week. And if you know any others in the area putting pen to paper this week, let us know about it. If you plan to be at a ceremony in the area, take a video of the big moment on your phone and either email it to us at sendit@fox8live.com or post it on our Fox 8 Facebook page. Remember to shoot with your phone sideways so that it best fits in our TV screens. And as we head to break, we want to send our condolences and prayers to the family of longtime Covington head coach Jack Salter, who passed away yesterday. Salter roamed the Lions sideline for 33 years, winning 256 games, 15 district titles, and the state's 4A championship back in 1976. He retired in 1995, calling it the toughest decision he's ever had to make. His son, Greg, is currently Covington's head coach. Joseph Jack William Salter was 86 years old.
You're watching The Final Play.
Want to open it? Let's see what you got. Open it. Batman.
It was sheer joy for one New Orleans family when Pelicans star Anthony Davis gave them some early Christmas presents through the NBA Cares program. Davis presented the kids with lots of packages, including a tablet, dolls, and toys. But the biggest present was reserved for Mom.
And Mom, of course we can't forget about you. Yeah. Of course we can't forget about you. This is yours. This is your phone.
Turns out the SUV that all the presents were packed in now belongs to the family. The local mother was stunned to open the box and find those keys to her brand new vehicle. And once Davis is done playing Santa, he and his teammates will get back to the work of winning basketball games. And their 4-game road trip got off to a disappointing start on Friday with another loss in Denver. This one came after the Pels had built a second quarter 18-point lead and then watched the Nuggets eat away at it in the second half. Your big three of Anthony Davis, DeMarcus Cousins, and Drew Holiday, they combined for 82 points scored. But as it has been many times this season, turnovers and effort were their demise. Too many of the former, not enough of the latter. As the Pels lost in overtime 117-111, their record's now back to 500 at 15-15 and leaving head coach Alvin Gentry with more questions than answers going forward.
We didn't execute down the stretch. We didn't play hard enough down the stretch. And you know, they made the plays and we didn't. I mean, it's that simple. I think we got to do a much better job of, you know, when we have in leads, not deviating from what we were doing to get the lead. And that's where I thought we had our biggest struggles is that, you know, we played great moving the basketball, having everybody touch it and doing a lot of good things. And then we just stopped doing it.
The team will continue their road trip in our nation's capital Tuesday night, taking on the Wizards. From there, they'll play in Orlando Friday and in Miami on Saturday. They return back home to face the Brooklyn Nets next Wednesday on the 27th, followed by the Dallas Mavericks in the Smoothie King Center on December 29th. And that's our show for tonight. For all of us here at Fox 8, I'm Juan Kincaid. We hope you'll join us again next Sunday night for the Final Play.
From Fox 8 Sports, this has been The Final Play.